Hello. Welcome to Gutter Trash, episode 311. My name is Eric.
I'm Jason.
So,
Is this exciting? We have two guests today, Edna and Goo.
That is true.
We've never recorded in the room with either of them, have we?
We have not. Yeah. No. Yeah, we've never recorded in your house before.
Oh, yeah, we probably have not.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're in my house.
We're at Jason's place. Not the typical Gutter Trash HQ. But yeah, we're gonna record tonight and ran into a snag.
Yeah, some technical difficulties.
Sure. That required us to relocate for the night, and here we are.
Yeah.
So
welcome to my home, everyone.
Yeah. So I'm recording this on my phone, as we did with the recent Tomboy episode, the on the go in the car episode. So the sound quality might be a little bit different, but also, your mom is in the other room.
Yeah,
possibly sleeping.
She's sick and sleeping.
Yes. So that's why you got the weird hello at the beginning. So we're not exactly going to be as boisterous as we tend to get it sometimes.
But we'll be maybe even twice as dumb, because it's late and I've been drinking.
That is also true. I have not been drinking, but it is late and I have not had much sleep over the last couple of days.
Right. Yeah. That's too bad.
Yeah. Such as the fact that I forgot to mention that we're reviewing a comic book this episode.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
It's called Snapshot.
By Andy Diggle.
Yep, and Jock.
Right.
Don't forget to not credit the artist.
No, it was one of those, like, what we've, like, Tomax and Zaymut style things where we finish each other's sentence. No, Jock is not this man's name, I would assume.
I don't believe it is, yeah.
It's probably like Bob Perkins.
Maybe.
Something like that.
If I had access to my phone, I'd look it up.
Oh, your phone's right here.
Oh, yeah.
It's busy recording us, though.
It is. I wonder, though.
Nah.
No, I'm not going to try. Yeah. This is too perilous as is.
I really don't care what Jock's name is, because I just know him as Jock.
Sure.
It's like...
Frank Whiteley?
Like Prince. His name's like Gerard, Snuffleupagus.
Sure. Snuffleupagus. Yeah.
but we
Prince, the most famous Greek in the world.
He is the sexiest, most purple Greek in the world.
It's true.
He's pretty awesome.
But no, Frank Whiteley is not that guy's real name.
Yeah. I actually knew his name, but I forget.
It's Vince something. Vincent.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Maybe starts with an M. I think at one point in time I did know Jock's real name, but it's not a part of my brain at the moment.
Now, do you think he goes by Jock because he doesn't want people to know he's a lowly comic book artist as opposed to a fine artist, or do you think he's just he's really into just this nickname?
Could be a nickname. Who knows? I don't know a thing about the man other than he draws some stuff.
He's kind of a good artist.
Yeah.
I like him.
I do, for the most part.
Yeah.
I discovered him. Guys.
You were the one.
I'm the one.
You're the one that brought him out
Yep.
into the world.
Yep. No, the first time I ever saw his work or knew of him was The Losers.
Oh, yeah. Didn't he do with Diggle?
With Diggle, yep.
Yeah.
and I loved his work there. And I think he and Diggle have worked on a few things together.
Yeah, I think so.
And they also did Green Arrow Year One, right?
Oh, did they? I never read that one.
I think they did. I want to say yes.
Now, is this the first black and white Jock comic?
Well, probably not the first, but it's definitely the first one I've seen.
Yeah, it's the first one I've seen too,
Yeah.
and I think his art looks better in black and white.
I'm almost with you.
Yeah,
I'm almost with
but
you.
you're not quite.
Not quite.
Really?
Because there were more than a few times where reading this comic, I had no idea who the characters were.
Right, because like hair color and things like that.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
It happened to me once.
yeah. I mean,
No, twice. Yeah, twice.
yeah. Especially because there are a couple of characters who have long black hair.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And then a couple of characters who at a certain point wear the exact same uniforms.
Right, yeah. Yep. Yep.
So it was at times hard to tell who was exactly who at all times.
That happened to me once or twice, yeah.
Yeah. But otherwise, I do think he's a damn good artist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me, like, especially when he does environments, he reminds me of Sean Murphy a little bit.
Yeah, I can see that.
Sean Murphy maybe puts a little more detail, and that's not like an insult to Jock.
No,
It's just
not
like
at all.
it's just like a stylistic choice.
Right. I'm sorry. There are animals in the room, and I will pet them occasionally. Yeah.
What's up, Goo? But I don't know that I've ever read anything by Andy Diggle before, unless we did for the show, and I just don't remember.
Don't believe we have at this point.
Yeah, I don't think I'm much familiar with his work.
Right. I've read some stuff that he's done. Obviously, The Losers and Green Arrow Year One.
Did he write the Bible?
He may have written the Bible.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, I never read it, so
Right, well, yeah.
Can't
You're
tell
waiting
you for sure.
Waiting on him to team up with Jock for the illustrated version.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
that would be kind of cool, actually.
Yeah. Didn't Simon Bisley do the Bible?
Yes, Simon Bisley and Robert Crumb.
And
Robert
Keith
Crumb.
Giffen also?
I don't remember Giffen involved in that.
I feel like Keith Giffen may have done something
Really?
Bible-y at some
Yeah.
point.
I'd read that. The Bible in 9 pages segments.
Right. And then, of course, there's the sequel to the Bible 2, by Nick Marino, and
Is there a Bible too?
the comic that is called Holy Fuck was
Okay.
originally titled Bible 2.
Ah,
Anyway,
Holy Fuck is more of a catchy title.
it is. I think it grabs more people's attention.
Because it's got the word fuck in it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a word that perks ears.
It does. Yeah. But yeah, and then Snapshot.
So yeah, this book is called Snapshot. It's
Yes.
a 4-issue Image miniseries from several years ago.
I think 2013 is when it came out.
Okay. Yeah.
I remember, because I did really enjoy The Losers and Green Arrow Year One by both of these gentlemen. So, I was like, hey, creator-owned image book.
Right.
Yeah. I'm sure. Yeah.
Why not?
But I honestly did not know that this was a thing, because usually I order my comics through my mail order service.
Mm-hmm.
And
Bypassing those smelly comic book shops.
Yep, whenever I can. But the first issue came out, and I did not know that it was a thing that maybe I had even wanted. Like, I don't think I even remember it being advertised anywhere. or
Oh,
anything.
really?
Yeah. And so I called you and said, hey, if you guys have a copy of #1, please stick it in my file. And you did, and then I placed the rest on my next orders so that I could get it at a steeper discount.
Right.
Yeah.
I do remember when this came out, I was really tempted to buy it because I was like, oh, it's black and white, and it's, like, I don't remember any other black and white Image comics other
There's
than,
been a few.
is there?
Walking Dead.
I've never heard of it.
Okay.
Is that a new one?
It's fairly new. It's a little small. I mean, didn't Jim Valentino have like a line of black and white books?
At Image?
Yeah, like Shadowline. Wasn't that all like black and white
yeah,
comics?
that's right. Yeah. Okay. I guess there has been a few,
Oh yeah,
but they're few and far between.
sure. One specifically I remember is called Paradigm.
Oh
by Jeremy Hahn and somebody whose name I can't remember.
I think I read a couple of those.
Yeah.
That's all right.
It's a little weird.
Yeah.
Some graphic novels, like Rick Spears and the Teenage from Mars guys.
Rob G.
Rob G. Yeah, didn't they put out a couple books for Image?
Oh man, I don't even remember.
But there's been color books or black and white books. Yeah.
But they're kind of striking. Like especially even the covers. They're kind of mostly black and white with a little red or pink monotone.
Right.
And when you set them all out with all the new books, they are kind of striking because there's so much color, so much crazy digital color now.
Right.
That when there is a black and white cover, it really like kind of
pops.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that also is a testament to the design sense and good artistry of Jock.
Yeah, he's definitely a good designer. Like if you kind of just flip through the pages, the page layout's just really well put together.
He's done he did a run on Detective Comics a couple years ago.
Oh yeah,
and there's like one cover in particular of the Joker.
All the bats
formed out of bats. That is an amazing cover, and it's also very similar to this. It's black and white with
a little red.
Yeah,
he's pretty good.
He's kind of okay. Yeah.
He's kind of the Rob Liefeld of comics.
He kind of is. Yeah.
So Snapshot.
Snapshot.
What's it about?
It's a crime comic.
Yeah.
Which honestly, I honestly didn't know what this book was going to be about before I even started reading it. When I even picked it, I didn't even know.
Oh, well, nice.
I just knew, Andy Digglejock, I want to read this. And then I found him and said, hey, I still need to pick a book. This looks short enough to read.
Right? There's only 4 of them.
Right.
Let's do it.
But no, it's about a kid who is riding through the park one day on his bike, and he finds a phone on the ground, like a smartphone.
Yeah.
Like the very type of phone that we're using to record this episode.
And he records his own podcast.
Yep.
Where he reviews a comic called Gutter Trash. It's so weird. It's so meta. No, he does not.
No.
He does find a phone, though.
Yeah, and he takes it back to his job working at a comic book store.
Mm-hmm. The Rhino or something?
Something like that.
The pesky Rhino.
Yeah.
I'm curious. The Near-Mint Rhino.
The Near-Mint Rhino. That makes no sense to me.
It isn't. It's probably a British thing.
But yeah, so he, he's got this new phone that he's excited to have found, and he starts going through it and finds some pictures of some dead people on it.
Right.
Or at least one dead guy.
Like murdered
Dead. Yeah. Like bullet through the head, missing a pinky, lots of blood.
It's kind of some mafioso shit right there.
Yep. And he suitably is a little freaked out.
Oh yeah, I would be too.
And he's there with a friend of his who's a poorly represented comic nerd.
Maybe accurately represented comic nerd. His name's Steve, and he's all about Alan Moore and snide remarks.
Yeah.
So it's pretty accurate.
It's no comic book person that I have ever met.
What? I've probably served a dozen of them today.
Well, you have surrounded yourself in that lifestyle.
Yes.
I mail order my comics, so I don't interact with anyone other than you or Joe about comic books.
I was really excited in this first issue because Jake works at a comic book shop, and I don't know. Okay, first of all, I'm always excited to see a character I can relate to in that aspect. Like when I watched True Romance for the first time, I was like, "That's me." But no,
you're talking about Alabama,
Alabama Whirly. Yeah. I'm not damaged goods.
No, but you are a busty blonde whore.
I am a busted blonde. I prefer call girl. No, but I really liked that there was a scene where Jacob is the comic book kid that finds the phone. He's showing Steve this comic that they just bought, which, like I do that all the time. I'm always excited when we get something cool.
Right.
And it's this old issue of, man, what's that British comic that has Axel Press Button in it?
Oh, yeah.
It's an actual comic.
Right, yeah. I remember saying that, and it's like, oh, Jason will love that.
Yeah. Warrior,
that's it. Yeah.
It's an old, British anthology that Alan Moore wrote for, before he was Alan Moore.
That's where V for Vendetta started out.
Yeah. And, on the cover is the Axel Press Button, which is a comic I loved when I was a kid.
Right.
And I just kind of recently rediscovered.
I had never heard of him until a couple months ago or whatever, and you had a stack of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you actually, I think you drew that character while I was here.
He's a character, he's a bald man who was mostly eaten by a carnivorous alien plant who is sentient. And it took his legs and one of his arms and most of his chest away. And it felt so bad about, having to eat him because it had a conscience that it helped him, get robot body parts, like robot legs and arm. Uh-huh. And even installed a button on his chest that he could push whenever he wanted to have an orgasm. Which is very thoughtful.
Sure.
And it's just such a weird character, written by Alan Moore. I think Steve Dillon drew some of them, and Alan Davis. It's a great series if you ever see them in quarter boxes, which is usually where they reside.
Not after this.
Yeah, not after this though. So that was really cool. I love the first issue of this because it's got stuff like that, like the comic book guy showing him Axel Press Button. And I honestly think the first issue has a more of a, way more of a whimsical, fun element. And then it just kind of goes really dark and down that slope.
Sure.
From there.
We're dealing with murder and hitmen.
Well, yeah, we're dealing with murder, but I just felt like the first issue kind of set up that, hey, there's also going to be some jokes and some fun.
Right.
And it just kind of, I do think it was kind of strange that the second, third, and fourth issues don't really have any of that at all.
Right.
And the first one kind of sets it up as if it's going to be that. So I will start off my little review here by saying I was disappointed with the fact that it seemed like it was going to be more of a fun comic.
Right.
And then it just kind of took a left turn and didn't delve into that anymore.
Right. I think also for me, I don't know. Again, I feel like the representation of comic book fans in that first issue, didn't really do much for me.
Right. It doesn't do much, but it's fairly accurate. Unfortunately,
I guess. Yeah. But again, I don't feel like I've ever met anyone like that.
Really?
I have. I absolutely have. But, why would you make, the worst representation of a comic book fan, one of the main characters who...
Well, at least they killed him.
Spoiler. I was about to say that, too.
Okay.
But it's they kill him, but at the same time, it's well, you're kind of killing what I consider a terrible person.
Right? Well, maybe that's why they killed him. Maybe it was some sort of let's create this character that kind of represents the things we don't like about the fans of our medium, and then just off him.
Right. Yeah. But then we're still supposed to feel sympathy for Jake because they're buddies. They're buddies.
Yeah.
Although Jake calls him his best friend later on, and I was like, really?
Yeah.
Because it didn't seem like you guys are best friends.
Well, maybe Jake has some social anxieties and has some problems making friends.
Are you saying that you maybe are friends with people who you probably wouldn't be friends with because of social anxiety?
I'm saying all comic nerds have some mental problems, including you and I.
Well, that is a fact.
Yeah.
I don't even remember.
Okay, well, you mentioned, he found the phone.
Oh, yeah.
Saw the dead guy.
Yeah.
And then, he kind of freaks out.
Yeah.
As one would.
Sure. But he does, what I would consider to be the right thing. He calls the police.
Mm-hmm.
But it, or no, he doesn't. The phone rings.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, the phone rings.
And he answers it, and
And it's the police.
Yeah.
Or it's a guy claiming to be the police.
Right. Jake's a little dumb.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, he works at a comic book shop. Who would do that?
That is true.
Over the age of 15. What kind of a moron?
You mean from the age of 15?
Oh. So yeah, the phone rings and the guy's like, "I'm a police officer and I'm trying to find this phone. It's part of an ongoing investigation."
Right.
He's like, "Oh, well, here's where I'm at. Come
get me."
Yeah.
It's like he's never read a comic or seen a movie before. And I don't know. That's just another thing that bothered me about that particular scene, anyway. And actually, I was talking about this with our friend Matt Brassfield earlier today. Just like when you're reading or watching something and the characters behave in a way that, like even though like we've been introduced, to these characters in this world, and it's supposed to be our world,
right?
The fact that like when people encounter a thing as if like it has never existed before.
Right, yeah.
And it's like, that's kind of how I felt with this.
Yeah.
It was just like, it's like, oh, they've never seen like a crime movie where a evil person is going to lie and...
Right, yeah. Well, I do think, though, because, he found this phone, he was like all excited, he was gonna keep it.
Yeah,
or
sell it.
Right. And I feel like when he did get a call from... someone claiming to be a police officer, maybe he was kind of caught off guard and like kind of scared that he was going to get in trouble.
It's possible, I guess.
So he was maybe like, "Oh, yeah, I was going to, just come get it."
Yeah.
So maybe he was just a little thrown off.
Right. But then he pretty quickly, I think, figures out that he's about to die.
Yeah, this guy that's claiming to be a cop coming to get the phone is not actually a cop. He's probably the guy that killed the body that's been that there's photos of on the phone.
So Jake and Steve both escape, and Jake decides once he's safe to actually take it to the police himself, who don't particularly buy his story.
Yeah, and I love the like policeman that he goes to, because he is Jim Gordon.
Pretty much, yeah.
Like he is everything that I picture when I think of like pre-commissioner, maybe.
Yeah, right.
Like maybe like year one style Jim Gordon.
Like Gary Oldman Jim Gordon.
Exactly.
Not Gotham Jim Gordon.
Right. Yeah.
No, absolutely. Maybe even a little Ben Urich.
Yeah.
But yeah, the police don't exactly believe him, but they look at the pictures on the phone. But then the guy in those pictures shows up to claim his phone.
The murdered man.
The murdered man. Yes.
And he basically says, hey, this was like a murder mystery play we were doing, and we took some photos, and I lost my phone, and it's all a big quirky mix-up.
Yep.
And you're like, oh, well, this comic isn't nearly as exciting as I thought it was.
And the end, and then like the next 3 issues are just pin-ups by Jock,
and more, Axel Press button. No, it's
it actually just turns into an Axel Press button.
Oh, that would be awesome. That was such a good comic. No, that's not what happens. It's it takes another left turn.
Yeah, there's a big conspiracy happening.
Right. Pretty darn big conspiracy.
Yeah. And then Jake finds himself smack dab in the middle of it. And then the turns and twists just keep coming.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's it's basically like this fella has been hired by this seedy, mysterious,
it's like a banking company,
right?
Yeah.
And he's supposed to murder people who get out of line, basically.
Right, yeah, pretty much.
People that use the algorithms to their own advantage.
Right.
And And he's got this deal going where he fakes their deaths and takes, fake photos of their bodies and has them work for him as payoff for not killing them.
Right.
So it's kind of this complex
it's
conspiracy conspiracy thing, yeah.
It makes me think, like, like to be able to coordinate that would take a lot of manpower.
Right? And it's one dude.
Right. He would simply just not be able to do that by himself. Or even if he was just hiring people to help him, like, how loyal can people truly really be?
Yeah, to a guy like that.
Or how could he do it for so long without anybody finding out before now?
Right. There's some holes in the...
There are definitely some holes. It's like, I read a movie review once for some horror film. I think it was called Vacancy.
Okay.
With Luke Wilson and Frank Wally. But it's like, basically, like, these people that run this little motel would basically, kidnap these people who would check in and then, like, torture and murder them. And they've been apparently doing this for years and getting away with it. Now all of a sudden, here's these two people who are thrust into this situation, but yet they're able to overpower and defeat the guys who have been doing this for years.
Right.
Like, it does not make sense.
There's nothing different about their situation that would make you think, like, okay, well then...
Right, like, Luke Wilson isn't like, a CIA operative or anything like that,
Yeah, Luke Wilson's... I mean, he's pretty beefy, but...
Sure.
He's no, Batista.
Right, yeah. So here we have basically been tearing apart this comic for the last 20 minutes or so. But I still kind of enjoyed it.
It was enjoyable, but... Like, I do think I enjoyed the first issue, like, twice as much as I enjoyed the rest of it.
Right.
Because it was a little more fun. And then, once you kind of get, like, the first issue ends in such a way that you're like, what is happening?
Right.
This is crazy. I'm interested. And then you read the second one, you're like, okay, it's still kind of crazy. But the more it goes along, the more you find out, kind of the less interesting it is.
Right.
And definitely the less fun it is. But
right.
It's still cool, and there's a lot of action, and it's a page turner, and the art is gorgeous.
That is also true. But I do know Diggle... I'll get into this in a second. But Diggle wanted to... Initially, I guess he pitched this as a movie.
Yeah, this was a screenplay, and Jock convinced him to let him draw it.
Right. And, that's great. I mean, honestly, if I was a writer who was friends with and knew Jock, who says, hey, let me draw your comic, of course I'm going to say yes.
Yeah, okay, Jock.
Right. But, like after I read that, I was like, I think this would have been better as a movie.
Right. But I'm curious, though, because, like, without spoiling the ending, it's kind of a bleak one-note ending.
A little bit, yeah.
And I wonder if that would have been, like, different as a film.
Right. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Probably.
Like I feel like it wouldn't have played out the same exact way.
Like, some producer probably would have said, it's a little bit of a downer.
Right. Yeah. Like, let it end with them getting in a hot air balloon and, like, cue Smash Mouth and and then it'll just be happy and good.
Right.
It was all right.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's like a fun, like, weird mystery thing with... I just honestly, like, wish that they would have continued the tone of the first issue throughout the series, where it was a little more, like, some fun elements peppered in there.
Right.
Like, some jokes and some... Like, it wasn't like a slapstick comedy, but
no,
there were some fun moments in the first one, and it is just gone in issues 2 through 4.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just
like
dark.
You said, by the time it ends, it is just bleak.
Yeah, right? Which I don't mind bleak, but...
No, yeah.
It just felt a little unbalanced,
right.
Tonally.
Well, maybe if the change was more subtle, but you're right, it does by issue 2, like, just completely turn.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's cool, though. I like the characters. Like,
Yeah, for the most
I'm
part.
kind of rooting for the guy. I mean, maybe it's because I work at a comic book shop and
Right.
I feel a little in tune with him, but
Maybe you're just, there's a little element of wish fulfillment in there for you.
yeah, right.
Do you wish to get involved in some sort of
I kind of
violent conspiracy?
I do. Yeah.
You know, I love you, but I don't see you making it through the end of one of those.
Right? Yeah, I don't think I would do well with guns and hopping fences with barbed wire and stuff like that. Yeah, like not well.
Yeah, I think, but there's probably not really anybody you work with at Mavericks that maybe probably not even Neil.
You know, I would honestly, I'm happy to say, I think I would do the best in one of those situations.
Probably out of everyone. Yeah,
but I would still do poorly.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And then I would be your friend that gets shot and killed.
Right, in the first issue.
Right.
Yeah.
Knowing me, it probably wouldn't have even had anything to do with the conspiracy. It probably just would have accidentally happened.
But yeah, if you like, kind of conspiracy crime comics, this is a fun little read.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, if you're a fan of Andy Diggle, Jock, and you're a fan of their team-ups, then, I mean, yeah.
Why not?
Why not? Exactly. I still think The Losers is far superior, but it also was like 30 issues, so
right. So I had more time to
develop.
Right.
And Green Arrow, just because hey, Green Arrow.
He's pretty cool.
Yeah. So that's the thing I was going to say. I keep calling him Diggle as we've been talking, which is the name of a character on the Arrow television show. Yeah,
really?
It's John Diggle. Whose brother Andy had died prior to the show starting. Until, spoilers, they've recently discovered that Andy Diggle is alive now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So there is a character named Andy Diggle in the show.
Yep.
Wow. Huh.
Because they do, at least in the first season, because they would do the story of Ollie, becoming Arrow, or the Hood during the first season.
Right.
Or the Vigilante. But they would flash back to like his time on the being stranded on the island. And a lot of that was heavily influenced by the Green Arrow Year One. So, and obviously,
it's a nod.
It's a nod. But man, do I hate nods.
Yeah.
It's annoying.
I think there's a difference between a subtle nod and a smash over the head with a 2x4 with Andy Diggle's name on it.
Right, yeah. I mean, yeah, just like I've always said this, it's like whenever like you watch The Flash or something like that, and like, oh, I'm in the corner of Wade and Waringo. I'm just like, fuck you.
They're like, huh? That's for you.
Right, yeah.
Huh?
Yep.
What do you think?
I feel like they've gotten that out of their system for the most part, but there is still a character named Diggle floating around, and now Andy Diggle.
I do like little subtle things,
yeah.
but if it's not subtle, it's just terrible.
Exactly. Yeah. Like there's the Jessica Jones Netflix show. There is a small joke that happens late in the series that I honestly didn't even realize that it happened until I read about it.
Oh, okay.
But it's a Doctor Who joke, sort of, because the villain in the show is played by David Tennant, who was the 10th Doctor.
Right.
But there's a scene between him and Jessica Jones where he's watching videos of basically him as a child being tortured by his parents. And he says something, and Jessica looks at him and says, "Well, you're not 10 anymore."
Oh, wow. Wow.
Right. But it's done in a way that it's just dialogue.
Right.
But once you actually read it, it's like, oh,
wow. Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of fun.
Right, yeah.
It's like a little trivia kind of thing.
Exactly.
Not smashing you over the head with it.
Exactly. at least so far in the episodes I've watched, there has not been like an Officer Bendis like coming to the rescue or anything like that.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, Snapshot. It's all right.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, there's nothing bad about it, but I wouldn't say it was amazing either.
No.
It was just like kind of a fun read.
Yeah, enjoy it for the art and stories. Just kind of, I mean, like we said, it's dark and bleak, but it's a light story also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not too gratuitous. It's more just like a good crime story.
It's a good crime story, and like you can definitely see, like, oh well, this would probably have made a pretty decent action movie.
Yeah, maybe it still will.
Maybe
get in on the ground floor when it's still $3 instead of
right
$400.
All right, and take a break.
Let's take a break.
All right,
I could use another beer.
Sure.
Hey, welcome back to Gutter Trash.
Hello.
Hi, it's tomorrow.
It is.
It's after midnight.
It is.
Are we going to let it all hang out?
Sure. I mean, my dick's already out.
Oh, gosh.
You can't see it because I'm on the other side of the table.
Yeah, there's a pretty nice sized table between us here.
Yeah. We're sitting on the floor.
Yeah, this is the first time we've ever podcasted from the floor.
I know, right?
Wow. Does that mean we're like all washed up now? we're laying on the floor recording a podcast.
I think we're just loosey goosey. We're being groovy.
Oh wow, we are being groovy. I love being groovy.
We've recorded in some odd places. Car, obviously. Recently. A bed.
The basement of a hotel.
Basement of a hotel.
That space.
Oh, yeah.
A bed?
Yeah.
What? Did we record in bed once?
Yeah.
You recorded me in bed.
You were fully aware and awake.
I feel like
and there was more people with us. When we did Appleseed.
Oh, okay.
We were both sitting on beds.
Okay.
With Brian John Mitchell and Kurt Dins.
That's better than I was. I was like, what?
See, we've recorded on recliners and on couches and a kitchen table.
Wow. We've really kind of done it all at this point.
We have.
So
yeah, how you doing?
Pretty well. I'm had a few beers.
Yes, yeah.
I feel kind of relaxed.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah. I'm pretty excited. This weekend is a comic book convention.
Yeah, of sorts.
Here in Dayton. Yeah. And,
more of a trade show.
A what?
More like, just people selling stuff.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It's not like artists and Artist Alley and stuff like that.
Well,
no celebrity guests.
There's like a few local legends, but that's about it. And then we're gonna be selling our wares.
There.
Mostly toys, probably.
That's kind of sad, I guess.
Yeah, well, it's like Marvel comic toys.
Oh, okay.
So, right. We're going to take a bunch of... We bought a giant collection of Marvel Legends figures, and we're going to take those and try to sell them.
Were those
Christmas time.
Local Christmas Legends that you were talking about?
The local Marvel Legends, yeah. Yep.
You think Kyle Hutz is going to steal another poster from you this time?
Did I ever tell that story on here?
I don't know if you did or not.
I don't think I did. Okay. There's this comic show at Hare Arena here in Dayton called the Jim and Dan's Comic and Toy Show.
Right.
And they do it quarterly.
So I think four
times a year.
I think they used to do it bi-monthly, but they stitched it up, yeah.
Well, the previous show, I think it was back in August.
Right.
Local artist Kyle Hotz was Hotes. Is it Hotes? I think it's Hotes.
I asked him once, and I swear to God, I think he said Holt. There is no L, and it ends with a Z.
Right.
So I don't know.
I'm not sure either.
All I know is that I do have his home address.
Well, we should go over there and ask him right now.
We should.
It's only 12:30 at night on a for Thursday. No, I think it's Hotes, I think. But either way, incredible artist.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Pretty nice guy.
Yeah, but he lives here in Dayton.
Yeah.
And he's done a lot of major stuff. We reviewed one of his books before.
I priced some of his Hulk comics today at my house.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's great. I'd say he's in the upper echelon of working comic artists.
Absolutely.
He's awesome.
Yes.
But at the last show we were at, I was working at the table for Mavericks, and kind of like right across from us and down a couple tables, there was a dude selling movie posters.
Right.
And from my position there, my vantage point, if you will, I noticed he had them like basically like the movie posters were, completely unrolled and like like shrink wrapped against a piece of cardboard so you could see them. And the front one was the Beastmaster movie poster from the 80s.
Yeah.
And my gosh, I watched that movie so many times when I was a kid. My cousin, who's like 10 years older than me, brought it over on VHS and like entertained us for many, many times with it.
Right.
And he loves this movie. This is like one of his favorite movies. And I was like, I should get this movie poster for my cousin for Christmas. Like once our table dies down a little bit, I'm going to walk over there and see how much that is.
Right.
And so eventually that happened and our table died down a little bit. And I walked over there, and about the same exact moment that I was walking up, Kyle Holtz was walking up.
Yeah.
And with his kid. And we were looking at the movie posters, and I was like waiting my turn to like talk to the guy behind the table.
Right.
And I was flipping through the movie posters, and he had like two piles of them, two like little displays of them, and one of them had a tag on it that said like $5 each, and the other pile had no price tag at all, and that was the pile that had the Beastmaster poster. So I was like, I wonder if maybe these are more like maybe they're more collectible. So I was like, I'll ask. And and finally my turn comes up, and like actually it's more like me and Kyle's turn because we're both kind of right next to each other.
Elbow to elbow, sort of.
I mean, it's not like a line where you're taking numbers.
No,
we're just both kind of like right
elbow
there.
Elbow to massively formed muscular elbow.
Oh, thank you. I have been working out. No, Kyle Holtz is a pretty like buff dude.
He is super buff.
Yeah. Like he's not what you think of when you think of comic book artist.
Nope.
You think of like
the opposite of that.
You think of some fat bald guy with like a comb over in his basement, like smoking cigars and drawing terrible robot porn comics.
This is like an actual superhero is drawing comics.
Yeah,
he's fucking ripped.
Right. And so anyway, we both kind of get up right to the counter at the same time, And he's like kind of looking around at the posters. He's not touching any of them,
Right.
but he's just kind of looking around. And I'm like, hey, are all these posters $5 each or just this one pile? And the guy was like, yeah, they're all $5 each. And at that very moment, Kyle Hutt says, well, then I'll take that Beastmaster poster. And I was like, what? And so the guy's like, cool, let me wrap it up for you. And he like grabs it and like sells it to Kyle. And I'm like, what? And I kind of go back over to the pile and I start flipping through. I'm like, maybe he's got doubles?
Right.
He doesn't have any doubles.
Sure.
Like the next best thing, there was like a Superman 4 movie poster. I was like, that's kind of cool. But I don't think my cousin would want it. So Kyle Hotz, artist I love. Nice enough guy. Like
Super nice guy. Yeah.
I bought a couple pieces of original art from him, and he gave me a good deal. He's like, I know you just really like this. It's not like you're trying to invest in it. Like, right. He's just super nice.
He is. He
great
really
artist,
is.
super nice guy. But if you ever want a poster, don't let him snag it from you, because he'll totally fucking snag it from you. So hopefully if there's something cool at that show tomorrow, Kyle's not there to usurp my buying power. I still love him though.
Oh yeah, he's
still great.
Yeah.
If it was anybody else, I'd be pissed.
Right.
He's a super nice guy.
I think I was sort of nearby when that happened. Like I was there for the aftermath, and like he literally was like walking past us with
the Beastmaster
poster. And I think I said, "You want me to take him out? Yeah, probably take him." There's no way I could take him.
There's no way.
No. Like I might be taller than him, but just like his muscles are just. And I'm a big ass fat guy. His muscles are like so much. He is so much wider than I am.
He's pretty ripped.
Yeah.
And if you're unfamiliar with his art, seriously, totally Google Kyle Hotz. His last name's Hotz. He did a ton of stuff.
We reviewed the Billy the Kid and Billy the Kid in the Old Timey Oddities series that he did with Eric Powell.
But you should totally check out his creator-owned Mosaic. It's beautiful.
Yeah,
it is so beautiful.
I've actually been thinking about picking it for the show.
I would love to reread that.
Yeah,
I haven't read it in like 10 years.
Right. I did. Yeah, I pulled it out a couple months ago to set aside. I was like, I'm gonna reread this and probably pick it.
Yeah, I would love for that to happen.
It may happen. Yeah.
So we can just kind of gush all over him again.
Pretty much. I've got no problems doing that. Actually, oddly enough, just this past week I got a portfolio book that featuring a bunch of his artwork.
Oh, yeah?
That I bought from him.
You bought from him? How dare you support that asshole?
I don't give a fuck about Beastmaster.
Yeah. Well, he ruined my cousin's Christmas. That's all I was saying. I'm going to buy him a box of like stale Sour Patch Kids from the dollar store. No, yeah, check out Mosaic. It's pretty beautiful.
It is.
It's by Sirius Comics, the people that did Cry for Dawn, I think.
I believe so,
yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to this weekend. Hopefully, we'll have fun doing the show.
I hope you do as well. Mm-hmm. Still undecided whether I will show up or not, but oh well.
If you do, don't eat the pretzels or the nachos.
I have heard.
Yeah. I hear they induce vomiting.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have any money, so I probably shouldn't go anyway.
Right.
It's the last time I went when I didn't have money, I wound up spending like $30 on comics.
I know, isn't it? It's frustrating because you're like, I'm here, I see this, I may never see this again.
Right.
There's some pretty cool stuff there sometimes.
Yep. Yeah. So you read any other cool comics this week or anything?
I read the Batman Turtles #1.
Oh yeah, how was that?
It was I would say it's wholly mediocre.
Oh, okay.
Like there was nothing wrong with it.
Right.
But there was nothing like, wow.
Right.
You know, like it was like, okay, you know, Batman's broody and Alfred is giving him a hard time. And
Right.
the turtles are infighting a little bit and they're eating some pizza. And, you know, I get it. You know,
these all sound like elements that would be in either one of their comics.
And I knew, like, on the first page of the comic, when I started reading it, I was like, I bet Batman and the Turtles are going to meet each other in the very last page of this comic.
Right.
And that's exactly what happened. Because it's a 6-issue series, and they can't give you that in the first issue.
Of course not, yeah.
So, yeah, and the art's not bad, and the story's not bad, but it's nothing special.
Right. I should be getting a blank variant cover for that soon.
That's cool.
But I also did put one on my file of the regular cover just to read.
Oh, yeah?
Because I'm going to draw all over that other one.
So. Well, you can read the one you're going to draw on.
Well, sure, but, like, you know, I figured, you know what? I might as well just get this damn book.
Yeah, it wasn't bad, and I might check out this at least one more of them.
Right.
Like I said, it's 6 issues, so I don't know if I'm going to hang in for the whole run. But
I mean, you know, like, I love Batman, and I've got kind of an affinity for the Turtles.
Mostly because of your Vanilla Ice fan club.
I would say solely because of that,
right.
Yeah. So, you know, it's like, I don't think ever going to be surprised by a Batman or Turtles comic.
Right.
Ever.
Right.
So, you know, I guess my expectations on it are probably going to be a little more realistic than maybe some.
I mean, like I said, I wasn't disappointed because that's exactly what I expected.
Right.
But I didn't even buy it. I was like, I'm just going to borrow this.
Sure.
And I read it. And it sold really well. Like, I think we got 50 of them. And we sold like 37 of them by today, which that's pretty good.
Yeah. I have not read any comics. Watched a lot of stuff. Mm-hmm. I saw a movie called Krampus.
Oh, it's a Christmas movie.
It is a Christmas movie of sorts. Well, I mean, it is a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
It's just about a horrible demon monster that terrorizes a family.
So it's a scary movie.
It is a horror movie, but a comedic horror movie.
Those are the best kind. I honestly think so.
I enjoy those quite a bit, yeah. I'm a fan of comedy, and I'm a fan of horror. Why not?
And you're such a fan of Christmas.
And I will say this. The movie kind of choked me up a couple times because of the overall message about people should just be good to each other at Christmas.
Well, that's true.
And, you know...
And maybe the other 11 months, too.
Right, yeah. But, you know, like, just, you know, because it's kind of about... Because the movie starts, and it's kind of great. The opening scenes of this movie take place at, like, a department store where people are basically...
misbehaving.
Trampling people and just fist-fighting each other in the aisles for... presents and toys.
For TVs that are half fresh.
Right. And just not giving a shit about, you know, their fellow human beings. And
you know, Christmas time.
Christmas time, exactly. And it all revolves around basically this boy who his grandmother has basically raised him to appreciate Christmas and to believe in the spirit of it. And specifically, even though he is probably about 12 years old or so, like he is, you know, still tries to hold on to the belief of a Santa Claus.
Wow.
You know, and he even admits that, you know, Santa is most likely not real, but you know, he just wants to hold on to that little piece of his childhood.
Yeah.
And then the family are basically kind of terrible people, and then like a bunch of I would say parallel to Cousin Eddie from the Vacation movies.
Okay.
And his family show up for the holiday and kind of make things worse.
Is that Randy Quaid? Is that
yeah. And so the kid basically just gets really frustrated and just kind of, you know, sort of says "fuck it" to Christmas, which brings about sort of a Christmas apocalypse in which the Krampus shows up to basically punish the entire family for being assholes.
Right. Well, good for the Krampus.
Exactly. And so there were a couple of times where it was just like, oh, like kind of hit me a little bit.
Yeah.
Particularly scenes with the grandma. But it's an enjoyable movie. It was really enjoyable.
That's cool. Yeah, I would like to see that, actually. I haven't been to the theater since Mad Max. That's the last time I went.
That was, no, I saw Ant-Man.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I was actually just thinking, I have not seen very many
theatrical releases.
Yeah. Saw Avengers, Ant-Man, Mad Max, this, and I think I saw one of the Riff Tracks movies.
Oh, yeah. But no Moby Dick, huh?
Why do you keep bringing that up?
I just, I'm really excited about a movie about a whale. I don't know.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Really?
I kind of am.
All right. It's not even about Moby Dick.
All right.
It's about, the story that inspired Herman Melville to write Moby Dick.
Which I might like better. I've never read Moby Dick.
Well, then why are you so excited about this movie?
I don't want to read a book about a whale. I want to see a movie about a whale.
All right. I mean, Ron Howard directed it, so...
Did he really?
Yeah.
I like Ron Howard.
Yeah, he's okay.
Yeah.
I put him on par with Steven Spielberg as being wholly mediocre.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Spielberg? Man, he's in my... Oh, he's up there.
He is super overrated.
No, he's still great, though. He might be overrated. It's like saying the Beatles are overrated.
They are.
They're still one of the best bands
They
ever.
are the definition of overrated.
Right. But they're still great.
They're just a band. Steven Spielberg, just a director.
Right. Yeah, I love the Spielberg.
Yeah.
Speaking of movies.
Ooh.
What? I just noticed I'm out of beer, so
okay.
Must be the end of the show.
Sure. It's a good barometer for it, I guess. So yeah, I guess you're wanting me to pick a movie to watch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want to go see Moby Dick at the theater?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
What's it called?
I don't know.
Dick.
It's Big Ocean Dick.
Big Ocean Dick.
Yep. And
Melville.
but that is only referring to Chris Hemsworth.
Maybe it's called Ahab? I don't know.
No, it has nothing to do with Moby Dick. It's like the heart of the sea or something like that.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, I think heart is in the title, at least. Heart of this something or other. I don't know. Yeah.
I saw a trailer today for a movie with Captain Kirk from the new Star Trek movies. That basically looks like it's a remake of The Perfect Storm, the George Clooney movie.
Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah.
Yeah, that movie was kind of disappointing.
Yeah.
I think some of the special effects are great, and I love disaster movies.
Right.
But that one's just kind of disappointing all around.
It's because the disaster is only for one boat.
Right. Yeah.
You prefer your disaster to be spread wide amongst cities.
I do. Yeah.
Planets.
And maybe the whole entire Earth.
Right. Yeah. Well, there should be saw another trailer for a movie then that you would probably enjoy called The Fifth Wave.
Oh?
It appears to be some sort of alien invasion movie with
okay. Yeah.
Chloe Grace Moritz.
I don't know who that is, but I'm down.
Hit girl from Kick-Ass.
She's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
All right. Well, we're not going to watch that for the show.
Oh.
And the trailer looks terrible, but it appears to have giant spaceships destroying stuff.
I'm in.
Right.
I'm in for that.
There you go.
Yeah, there's nothing else I need to know about that except for where do I buy my ticket?
All right.
Fandango.
Yep. But the movie I'm going to pick for the next episode is a movie that I've heard of and kind of wanted to see because I enjoy some of the actors in it. But I'm not entirely sure what it's about.
Oh.
I do know it's kind of a thriller type of movie. The IMDb description says comedy, crime, drama, horror, thriller.
I like a lot of those things.
Right. It's called Cheap Thrills.
Cheap Thrills.
Yep.
Don't know this. Is it like the life story of Janis Joplin?
Yep.
Okay. Sweet.
Because her life was a comedy, drama, crime, horror, thriller.
Well, it kind of was. Well, I don't know this movie, so how could I veto it?
Exactly. Yeah. That's my trick.
Right. That's often my trick when I pick obscure indie films that end up sucking.
Like Possession.
I still haven't talked to my friend Joe to see if he was pulling my leg.
All right.
I don't think he was. I think he really likes that movie.
I have a feeling it might be one of those movies that
other people
polarizing.
Like. Yeah. I think people either love it or hate it, and we obviously hated it.
Yep. Yeah. I told our friend Matt Brassfield about it the day after. And he was like, "Oh, so did you guys not record the podcast?" I was like, "No, we recorded the podcast. Stopped the movie an hour in, and we still talked about it for an hour.
There's still plenty to talk about.
Oh yeah. Because he was supposed to be on the show with us because he owns a copy of it. He was like, "Well, I own a copy of it, but I've never seen it, so I guess that should tell you something."
Right? No one's ever been like, "Oh, you have to watch this."
Right?
Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, hell, here it is a week later. We're still talking about it.
You know, I actually saw something. I think I was at GameSwap the other day, and they were watching something with Sam Neill. It might have been Jurassic Park.
Right.
But as soon as I saw him, I was like, Sam Neill. That fucking terrible movie.
I'm sure that's not Sam Neill's only terrible movie.
No. And I'm sure that's not his fault. He seemed fine.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure when they told him to rock in a rocking chair for half an hour, he was like, okay.
Yeah, so Cheap Thrills.
Cheap Thrills, I'm down.
All right.
I've always liked Cheap Thrills, so.
I figured. All right. I'm going to go pass out.
Yeah, you gotta get up in like 3 hours.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, good job.
I'm really fucking dumb.
Yeah, right. Well, at least, you did this.
Yeah.
So that's good. Cheap Thrills.
Cheap Thrills. All right.
Well, thanks for coming over.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Good night, Edna.
Yeah. Everybody say good night to Goo and Edna.
Good night, Goo. They were probably the best guests we've had so far.
Yeah, they're most well behaved.
Yeah. All right, goodbye. Thank you for listening to Gutter Trash. You can subscribe to the show from guttertrash.net or from iTunes and leave us a review. Visit guttertrash.net for email information and for other podcasts and websites in the Gutter Trash Network. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.